Just sweat. All right, you guys. I'm just gonna get started. I have literally no notes whatsoever. So I'm just gonna literally do this podcast off the top of my head and whatever comes to my mind to talk about. I'm just gonna talk about it. But yeah, we are back with another solo episode. So of course, welcome back to another episode of the Real Me with Real podcast, number one up and coming podcast. Before we get further into this episode, I'm gonna need you guys to exit out this video and go smash the subscribe button right now. Yeah, I'm trying to think of cooler ways I could say that, but yeah, guys. Back to what I was just saying. Make sure you guys go subscribe. We already, I'm gonna stop bringing that up, but we are on the road to getting 100,000 subscribers. So I'm gonna need you guys to exit out this video and subscribe right now. It takes 2 seconds, and of course, drop a like and comment if you guys enjoyed the rest of this video. Moving on. So if you guys are new to this channel, of course, I am your host, Rail. Thank you guys for tuning into the podcast. This is my podcast, The Real Me with Rail. And a little background on us. We've been around for about, I want to say 3 years now. We've done interviews with multiple people throughout Los Angeles area and, of course, the Inland Empire. I'm trying to think of someone like, of course, we did an interview. Yeah, so honestly, I don't even like to limit. But if we're just giving you guys like kind of like a background on the podcast, it's mostly people from LA and the Inland Empire and any cities around that. So yeah, I've done interviews with artists, all types of entrepreneurs. Let's see, managers, publicists. No, not publicists. I'm tripping. Yeah, entrepreneurs, artists, managers. I'm trying to think who else. My friends. We really have done everything, to be honest with you. So go ahead and check out all the content that we've been giving you this past 3 years. You can find whatever your liking is. I've said this before multiple times on the podcast. Depending on what type of content you like to enjoy to watch, we have it all. So if you're not really into long videos or anything like that, we have the vlogs. So those are around 10 to 15 minutes long, more shorter content. Us when we're doing outside. It could be multiple things. It could be an album release party. It could be a studio. It could be at a concert. We could be at a event, whatever it is. We do vlogs here and there, so you guys can go check those out at the Real Me Vlogs. And just bringing that up. Hold on, give me a second. Just bringing that up. I was actually looking on today on the channel, and I was looking over, and we have over like 30 vlogs, I think, on the channel, which is crazy. So make sure you guys go check it out. It's insane. I remember doing my first vlog, 3 years ago, and I think the first one I did was just like a behind the scenes shoot, with one of my guests, of which we do those still to this day. Those are pretty cool. The behind the scenes. The last behind the scenes episode you guys can watch was probably the one with Little Peasy. I think that was in the beginning of the summer. And speaking of the summer, man, it's about to be over. Today is kind of like some weird weather. It's like tropical. It's like Florida weather. It's like raining, but it's like super hot. And yeah, it's been really hot. But summer is about to be over, guys. This year is about to be over, and like, I just want to say, like, so far it's been great. Season 4 has been cool. I really plan on doing a lot of cool things for you guys for the past. Sorry, not the past, but the next few months of the year. With 2025 coming to an end, I have some big plans. I really don't like to speak on it too much because I feel like, for one, I like it to be a surprise. I don't like to talk about it, and I don't like to jinx myself as well. So I don't like to say too much, but I have a couple interviews that I have lined up for you guys that you guys should be seeing by the end of this year. I was talking about this on the last episode. Is this is kind of a weird moment right now for the podcast. It's just about where like summer's about to wrap up, but we're still not into that winter phase yet. So I've been just trying to do things in the meantime, as content wise. I mean, I've been trying to put out stuff in the meantime because we're still kind of in that summer phase where it's a lot of events and we're vlogging and stuff. So far, I actually have a vlog for you guys coming out there pretty soon. If everything goes as planned, I have a vlog that should be coming out soon with my team. We plan on trying Marathon Burger. If you guys don't know Marathon Burger, that's Nipsey Hussle's restaurant. He just opened up 2 of them actually. So, or not 2 of them, but he opened up his second one. The first one is on Melrose, and the second one is in Santa Monica. We're gonna go to the one on Melrose and do like a live review. And I've been dying to actually try that for a while, for a long time. I've seen a lot of people go, but it was just so, when it first opened, it was just such a popping spot. Like you couldn't, not like you couldn't, but it was just so packed. And people were saying like the wait times were just outrageous and crazy. So I just was gonna wait for it to cool down, but it's way cooled down by now. I think it's been open for a little while now, not too long, but yeah. So we plan on vlogging that. I got some interviews coming out with some artists. Some artists just paid to come up on the podcast, so we got one that's gonna be coming out with him pretty soon. And yeah, I just really wanted to come out here. I don't have no notes. Like I've been doing these things like I've been doing these episodes where I have like topics of what we're gonna talk about. I really just wanted to talk about whatever comes to my mind and what's been going on. I felt like, I don't know if you guys can feel me like on this, but I don't know, guys. I do this podcast thing and like I do a lot of episodes, and I feel like I don't talk about everything, but I try to, like, main thing I try to do like with the cameras or when we film these episodes, I try to have conversations with you guys that are real, like that are real to me and like what's actually going on with me. And sometimes I feel like I still do that, but not all the time. There's a lot of times where I wish there's conversations that should be heard on the podcast so you guys can know exactly what I'm going on. But another one of these goals this year, another one of the goals this year that I had for the podcast, for sure, is to still for you guys get to know me. And of course that brings back to, this is the Real Me with Real podcast. But I just feel like my head is just all over the place sometimes. I'm thinking like, I'm trying to get these interviews in cause I know that's what you guys want to see, right? I know you guys want to see this and you want to see that. So I'm trying to do that. But at the same time, I still want to keep the podcast authentic and I want to talk about me. Of course, I don't want to become a robot. That's someone that just, does podcasts and, we start losing track of what the Real Me fam and what's going on. So I felt like that's something that's important. And that's what I want to keep on doing. And that's why I'm bringing these solo episodes to you guys, for we stay on track and keep our authenticity, which has gotten us so far. And I just don't want to forget to talk about it. But right now, I mean, I just want to say, lately, I've been feeling okay. I've been feeling good. I've been kind of busy. Pretty busy lately, just with the podcast and my personal life, just working and stuff like that. So, I'm actually about to start another job. But besides that, it's been good. I don't know. I just feel like, I mean, what else can we talk about? We took the Rio to Young OG interview. That was pretty dope. I feel like I didn't really get to talk about that too much, but that was like a super cool interview. I actually talked about it a little bit. That being said, I have 2 interviews out right now on 2 different podcasts. The Checked In podcast, and we have an interview on Trapstar podcast. How did I say that? Okay, we edit that out. We have 2 interviews out right now. We have an interview on the Checked In podcast and Drowsy TV, which is another platform. The funny thing about Drowsy TV was it was pretty cool. It was a full circle moment. I'm not too sure if I talked about it on the podcast, but I definitely posted a clip of it. But when we were outside of that Real to Young OG interview, and I was doing my thing out there, he was outside of the store and he ran into me, and I was like, "Yo, what's up?" And he was like, "Yo, what's up, man? Like, we should do an interview sometime." And automatically by default, like my automatic response to stuff like that is like, "Okay, bet, let's do it." And not like I'm trying to like bullshit you, but like I really be down for stuff. Like I'm the type of person that's like down, like like I don't know. I feel like some people, you have to kind of get people on board for things. See me, I'm very brutally honest. So if I just don't want to do something, I'm just not gonna. There's no really convincing of me like you could really do to convince me. I'm very upfront with things. If I don't want to do something, I'm not gonna do it. But the whole point I'm just saying that is I was just going like to my default mode. We're like, okay, yeah, man, like let's do it. And crazy thing was he was like, "No, man, like I've been knowing who you are, bro. Like I've been trying to get an interview with you." And, he pulls up these messages, and bro, he shows me messages of him, DMing the podcast from 2023, I think, like that. So 2 years ago. And when I have full circle moments like that, I want to talk about that for a second too. Like I don't know, like if I'm asking, but I'm gonna be bouncing around all over the place. You know what I mean? But this YouTube journey has been great. this is something I want to talk about on the podcast too as well today. And I want to give my advice to anybody else that wants to start YouTube as well. Like but I have so many conversations with people that come up to me and say that they want to do content. They want to put out content, and they want to whatever that may be. Personal vlogs, streaming, whatever. It's all kind of the same thing. And before I get sidetracked, but what I was gonna comment on, to the guy that saw me outside of That's the Dub store, was the cool moments I've had in this YouTube journey are meeting real life people. So a lot of my podcast stuff, like, you gotta think, so for a whole year I didn't even leave my house. So what I'm trying to say is, I was putting out these podcasts. I had people coming, to my house to film the episodes. But I'm trying to explain this, like, right? But the first year I did YouTube, I was in my house. I never really went outside to film anything. It was all inside my living room and, the set that we used to have in season 1. And of course I had, as things progressed, people would come to the house and, show more love. Like, they'll bring people and be like, yeah, man, I've been watching your stuff. And, and those moments are cool. But I think some of the dopest experience I've had through this YouTube journey is when I have the real life experiences. And, most of this content stuff is we film it depending on the location. I hate to use a location because we film at so many different places now, but we usually film it and put it out later. I'm not trying to compare myself to anybody, but I'm not you could just say I'm not a vlogger type YouTuber, so I'm not constantly on the mall and outside doing pranks. So I'll be outside doing my own thing, but I be in my own world. And the coolest thing is when I meet people, you guys that actually watch my podcast. And I get messages too as well. I've had a couple messages where people DM me and have commented on the podcast and tell me that they're a fan of the podcast and they support it. Don't get me wrong, I've had love like that, but all I'm trying to say is the craziest thing is when I meet you guys in real life. Meeting you guys in real life, and when you guys come up to me and you guys tell me, like, the funniest thing is when they say, "Are you real?" And I've talked about this with my friends before. It's one of the crazy experiences. You gotta really think about it. It's really cool, but it's kind of like you don't really know what to say. I remember the first time someone asked me that, when I was at the I think it was like I was outside of Milo's store or something like that. And he's like, "Are you real?" And I am. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm not trying to hype myself up, but it's like, it's a crazy feeling. Like when someone asks you, "Are you you?" And you almost don't know what to say. You say, "Yeah, that's me." And then they're just so like, not starstruck, but they're just like surprised to see you in real life. Like, they just get like, whoa, like immediately they just, don't get me wrong, they don't go super crazy, but they're like, I've subscribed to your podcast. Look at right here, I was just watching your podcast. I was watching this one with Desto or Mila or whoever, and it's the dopest experience, and I love it. I really do love it, and I don't really get too much of that type of love because I'm not a rapper, I'm not at shows and stuff like that. So I'm a podcaster. So when you guys see me, it's just on a screen, and yeah. So I just wanted to share that experience with you guys, meeting you guys in real life supporters, whoever that is, and it's been many people, is the dopest experience because sometimes when I get caught in this algorithm of uploading, posting, and yeah, I got the views and the subscribers and stuff like that. Don't get me wrong, those are not milestones that we want to put down. But you start thinking like, is anyone even watching this? Is people are even, because I don't know how to explain that, but it's just the dopest experience when I get to meet you guys in person and you guys tell me that you guys have been watching the podcast. And I plan on experiencing more stuff like that as we grow along with this podcast. I can't wait to meet all you guys. I can't wait to when we get the big enough to a platform that I go outside and we're able to do things and do meet and greets, and I want to meet everybody that's supporting my podcast. I love it. I really want to. You feel free to contact me. Social media is a perception type of thing. I know it may look like I'm like this or like that on Instagram or whatever, but I promise you I am never too cool for anything. And yeah, so don't ever feel afraid to reach out. If you support the podcast or if you have an idea or you have an opinion, yeah. And I feel like I'm sorry. I feel like more in this season 1 era, people were more I heard a lot more from people's opinions and what people thoughts on the podcast. But as I'm going along, as we get bigger as a podcast, I feel like I haven't. I feel like I haven't got. I can't remember the last time I got a text that said, um, nah. I mean, I do get some texts here and there. It just really just depends. But I definitely haven't got texts for requests in a while. That's something that I feel like died down over the years. I used to have a lot of people that would DM me or text me like, hey, get this person on and get this person on. And I feel like we haven't had a lot of that recently. So feel free to DM me at Jarrell. That's my Instagram. I'm gonna pop it up right here. Feel free to DM me and let me know who you guys want to see on the podcast. Let me know. I wanted to give my advice on content creating, my honest opinion. And I feel like I'm genuinely valid to be able to. Do you guys like the glasses, by the way? Yeah, we started wearing glasses and people have been treating me different. It's kind of crazy. If you're black out there and you want to see something funny, put on some glasses and see how people treat you. It's pretty crazy. It's so like disarming, right? Anyways, people just think my mom said I look more sophisticated, which is crazy. So it's like, what did you think I looked like before? Moving on. So advice to anyone that wants to do this content creation. I'm gonna talk freely right now. Like I just said, I feel like I am valid enough to give this advice. I've been doing this for 3 years, and I am a big believer on don't listen to anyone that you don't aspire to be on. So if you're watching this podcast and you don't inspire to be like anything like what I'm doing, then by all means don't listen to me. But if you are aspired to do anything that I'm doing, which is putting out a podcast, doing YouTube, getting 1,000 subscribers, having hundreds of thousands of views, having over 4,000 watch time hours, getting monetized. If you want to do any of these things, then listen to what I'm about to tell you. First and foremost, you have to be dedicated, and you have to be dedicated, and you have to really understand that this content shit does not stop. I think no matter what type of content you're putting out there, you constantly, even when the cameras are off, like you constantly have to be thinking about what's your next move, how you're gonna get there, how you're gonna get it done, who you need to get this done. It's something that your brain is constantly gonna be thinking about, and I think not a lot of people are ready for that. You really, it does not stop when entrepreneurs like Dana White and all these people that tell you that you don't get, there's no days off. There is no days off. Content is like, I'm not talking about like hustling, pushing, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about pushing like that. Like that's a different type of hustle. I'm just taking like the mentality thing of any entrepreneur. It just doesn't stop. It doesn't. It's going to be something that's going to be on your mind 24/7. And if it's not, then you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. Like, I mean, it's just like I said. Like I said in the beginning, if you want something bad enough and you want to do something effective, then you're gonna take it serious. I don't really believe in half-assing anything in life. I don't anything I've taken on and was passionate about or learned, I've taken very serious and have always wanted to educate myself to the fullest to understand my craft and to be able to be more effective and to grow. And anybody with a business sense will tell you that that's the most effective way to do anything in life, to tackle, whatever. I don't believe in just doing things for, what I mean? You could do things and have fun while doing it. Don't get me wrong. So I take this serious, but yes, I enjoy recording and filming and meeting people and in my job. I have fun while doing it, but it's something that I take very serious. So anybody that's trying to do content, just know that it is something that is going to be 24/7, especially content. My also more advice I'll give you is, I would say, if you're starting out doing content and you want to make vlogs and stuff like that, you want to go out and film videos, I would not try to find a cameraman. Like, I would not try to find a set cameraman at first. I've had multiple cameramen throughout my podcast career that's intern for me or work for me. Jaquel, DJ, Richie, Aaliyah has done my cameraman. Jaden's been my cameraman. Am I missing anybody? Kennard, I don't know, but there's been like 5 or 6 people throughout my whole career. Like, that's how the cameraman for me. I think a lot of people, conversations that's come up to me is saying that I'm trying to find someone to film this. I'm trying to find someone to film that. I've had a lot of conversations. You know, the homie just called me and he's trying to get into content, and right now he's focused on like trying to find the right people, and finding the right people is important. Like, for sure, I believe it is. I believe finding the right people is definitely important, but it's not something I don't think should be on your priority because it can prolong your progression. Trying to find the right people. And to this day, I wouldn't say I'm trying to find the right people, but I think I've always had the intentions of adding the right people onto my team. But the truth of the matter is that things happen, life happens, and sometimes things don't work out. And anyone that has a successful business will tell you stories like that they used to have old business partners, or this person worked for me that doesn't anymore. And that's just the truth of the matter of what it is. And you got to be okay with that. And at first, I struggled with that, like trying to hold on to people, and you know, and it's tough. You know what I mean? And the more serious you get about what you're doing, it's going to be harder to look at it as well. You know, I think when I first came into the game like this, I looked at it like as obviously something serious, but I looked at it like, okay, I'm Jarrell and I'm trying to be this podcaster, right? And I want to do podcasts, right? And then you eventually do that. So I'm like, okay, I'm Jarrell and I'm doing these podcasts. Okay, but now I want to get, you know, people in the industry on my podcast. So I want to become this podcast platform that is respected and has, you know, people with a big following or however you want to put it onto the platform. So I want to be taken serious. So I think the whole point I'm trying to tell you is when I came into this game, I looked at myself as I'm this and I'm just a guy doing this, right? But eventually you grow, you know what I mean? And things get more serious. So now I'm like, okay, now I want a sponsor deal. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get sponsored out here. I want to get paid. You know what I mean? I want to be, you know what I mean? I want to be taken serious. I want to be successful. And you know, now I want to have 1,000 subscribers, right? I want to get money off of YouTube, right? And with these things that you acquire, or you aspire to have, it comes with a mindset that you have to get these things. And I'm, like I said, I never speak on anything that I haven't gone through myself. And from being somebody that is, you know, this close to getting monetized, I can tell you, like, it is something I had to adjust my mindset. It is something I had to let go of the old me, you know. And just that being said, I really want you guys to really understand that if you want to be serious with this content, you want to be successful out here, and you want people to invest into your podcast or into your content, whether that be brand deals or you want people to buy your merch, right? Like, I made a lot of sales. You know, I made over, $3,000 in sales last year off of just jackets and hoodies and stuff like that. $3,000, and that might not seem like a lot, but it's a good amount. That's a good amount of money off of just hoodies, you know. And you really have to take things serious. And just that being said, is just, man, this past couple of years I've learned is you can't take everyone with you. You can't take everybody with you. You know, things get more serious. Like, I'm in a whole different room now. You know what I mean? Like, it's different now. You know what I mean? It's almost like, I look at it like it's like boxing, right? Like, it's like almost like, how many fights do you have under your belt, right? And see me, I'm getting up there. I'm starting to get a lot of, you know what I mean? I just interviewed Real the Young OG. It's another fight under my belt. Bravo the Bag Chaser. It's another fight under my belt. Desto Dub. Another fight under my belt. You know what I mean? Cypress Moreno. You know, like, as you keep progressing in your craft and you keep achieving things, you get, you know, you're going to start growing and get bigger. You know what I mean? And it's the seriousness comes with that. And I just feel like people don't really understand that when they want to jump into content creating. And but if you really want to take this serious, it is just something that's you're gonna have to evolve, and it's gonna take a strong mindset and having good people around you as well. It's very, very important that you have good energy around you for sure. I think good energy is so important. I personally feel like me, like I feel like if I'm around too many like bad energy, I feel like it clouds my mindset. Like I feel like I can't move, and I feel like that, like, every couple months, you know what I mean? If I'm going, like, not a couple months, I want to put a time frame on it, but there's times where I feel like if there's too much bad energy around me and it's taking too much of my energy, I let it go. I push people away. And I'm not necessarily saying that's the most healthy thing, and I'm not too sure if that is the healthy thing, to push people away, you know what I mean? And like, but for my ambitions and for what I need to get done in life, just with the podcast or in general, if you want to do anything in life, be successful, it doesn't even have to be like a podcast or anything like that. Negative energy, people can bring you down. It's I forgot how they say it, but positive people, if someone's negative and if they don't want to, you can't bring people up that don't want to go up. But people that are down, it's the opposite effect. So they can bring you down. And I feel like you got to really understand that negative people can bring you down, and you can't bring a negative person up with you if they don't want to. So the rules are like vice versa with that. And you got to be very careful with that. And there's some people that, and another thing I think I've learned this past year is not everything is under your control too as well. Like I've had people I have had to be around or stop being around, and it wasn't my fault. It had nothing to do with what I had going on or what I was doing with them and everything like that. And you got to be able to accept that and understand that. Especially to all my crowd that's getting out of high school right now. And if you're at that age, bro, where you just we just brought on my new team member, Jaden. Shout out Lil Jaden. He's my assistant now. And and then of course Aaliyah too as well. These are shout out my team members, but if you're at that age where you just got out of high school and you're on that journey of life and you're trying to figure out what you want to do, I don't want to say don't, but just understand that there's going to be situations around, situations with people around you that are going to be out of your control, and it might affect your relationship. And I think I used to take it personal when I was younger, like when things would go a certain way with me and somebody, and I think I learned to accept the fact that not everything's my fault. Sometimes things are just not the right timing. Sometimes, your friend just might not be going through the best times. Man, and you'll really, that's something I feel like you learn as a young adult as well, is like, you could literally be like, man, I just got my driver's license. I just got a new job. I just got a new car. And you could be like this, and you'll look over like, so man, what are you doing? And they're still here. But everything's going up here for you. Everybody's on a different path to life. And I think growing up, you have to understand that. I'm getting to understand it. And I think what made me understand it, not only like with my friends, but it's with my team members, people that work for me or intern for me. I feel like the reason why I named them is because I'm a little more tapped into their life, because, we're all kind of like communicating every day and everything like that. But you really start to see like, man, I just had this year and I did all this. And you look over and, no shade to any of my team members or whatever like that. And maybe they're still trying to figure something out. You know what I mean? They're still over here trying to figure this out. And I've had years or times where I'm still over here and then my team members start doing good. Man, some of my team members have excelled. I don't want to put nobody on blast or anything like that, but I can say is people's lives are at different journeys. No, sorry. People's lives on different paths. And I just think like that's something you have to really understand growing up for sure. To leave it back to the YouTube thing or whatever, I kind of like got sidetracked, whatever. I'm really just giving advice to give advice. This, you could apply this advice to life. I'm giving you guys life advice. This isn't trying to be YouTube advice. I know I kind of started with that, but I'm really just talking about life in general, to be honest, at this point. But yeah, I think just understanding that people are on a different path is something that you really have to understand growing up, especially when you get out of high school. Because in high school everyone's the same. Everyone's taking the same class. Everyone's in the same grade. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's doing that. But then it becomes like this individual sport when you become an adult. And don't ever compare yourself to the next person. I have friends that I took the bus with, right? And when I was 18, 19, I was probably working at Home Depot. And I remember some of my friends were buying $100,000 cars. Making six figures, over six figures a year. Just crazy amount of money that I just have never even seen before. And I'm over here I just got my first car. I was, driving a minivan. I was working at Home Depot. Just still trying to figure myself out. And I was just like, damn, like, and then you start feeling that like you're behind or you're not doing good in life. And you don't ever compare yourself to others. There's 8 billion people on this world. And if you compare yourself, you can compare yourself to others till you die. There's always going to be someone that's going to be better than you, that's going to have more stuff than you, or have this or have that. And comparison really is the thief of joy. I strongly do believe that. And let's bring it back to my podcast. And I tried so hard not to compare myself to others into this podcast game. I really just try to be myself and just remember that I'm Jarrell and there's no one like me and there's no one like the real me with Jarrell. And every time we do something, it's gonna be different. It's gonna be new because I'm doing it, because this is new. And I just try to keep the authenticity. And I think that's one of the best qualities an individual can have for themselves, is being yourself. Especially in LA, man. There's so many people that try to be like one another. Just, you know what I mean? There's so many fakes out there in LA. And I think being yourself is the best thing you could do in today's society. Be authentic. Don't be like everybody else. Be different, man. Have your own opinion. Have your own thoughts. Don't be man, what's the word? I don't want to say peer pressure, but you know what I mean? But don't be influenced by other people, you know what I mean? Even me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm always going to keep it real on here, guys. Like, and I'm going to give you guys my best advice and honest opinion, you know what I mean? And take it as you will, you know what I mean? But be yourself. And that's what I'm telling you to go do, is listen to yourself and believe in yourself. This is something, this podcast is a live proof of definition that imagination is real. If you can imagine things and if you can believe it and if you see it in your mind, it is real. I seen my podcast. This is something I created from nothing. I literally named it The Real Me with Rel. That is what I named it. I seen the vision. It is something that God blessed me with and showed me when no one's seen it. When nobody was seeing it. Nobody. Only I seen it. Only I seen my camera and me hosting and me talking to famous people and me in a studio. Things that were just never even happened before. I seen it. So if you have a vision and you have a goal or something that you dreaming of, shoot for it and strive for it and give it your all. Give it your all, your 110%. And don't expect people to understand where you're coming from right away. Expect people to not understand and not get it and not see it. And if you can't handle that, you're not meant for it anyways. So be able to handle that. Be able to cope with that. Man, I just tried to use 3 different words to try to explain something. I'm sorry. But really be able to resonate with that and understand that. No, how DJ Khaled says it. No. Overstand that. You know what I mean? Nah, he just said it was. But yeah, if you don't really understand that people aren't going to get that, get your vision or what you're trying to do in life, whether that if you have an idea or whatever that may be, I'm sorry, you're not cut out to be an entrepreneur. It's going to come with that. It's going to come with jealousy. It's going to come with people acting weird. It's going to come with people not supporting you, being fake, not showing love. It's going to come with a lot of stuff, but it's going to come with a bunch of cool stuff too. This podcast is great. Yes, I've met more people than I can count. Don't get me wrong. I've had thousands of views. I got people that show love. I made some money, and you know what I mean. I got it comes with a lot of stuff, but you gotta understand it comes with a price. There's negative stuff about doing this too as well. Friendships, shit, even family. You know what I mean? Just people not understanding and not getting it. It could get in the way, and it's gonna frustrate you for sure. And you're gonna have to make sacrifices. You know, and anyone I'm out there, and if you're young right now, sacrifice your time. Go after what you want to do in life. Life is short. Life is too short to be doing or to be living your life not doing what you want to do. Don't feel obligated and don't feel pressured to live a certain way because a paycheck or because it's more money. I tell people all the time, money is time, and time is something you can't get back. So remember that next time you're thinking about how much money this job is going to pay you or this and this and that. Because at the end of the day, all we have is time. And when the time runs out, you're not going to be able to take that money with you. So time is your most valuable asset, and it's on your side, and use it to your advantage. I think that's what I'm going to leave with you guys today. I'm not too sure how long this episode is. I've been kind of ranting, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have been enjoying all the content that I've been giving you guys this past year. Season 4 is great. Stay tuned. We got a lot of cool stuff that's coming up on the way. Make sure you guys are subscribed, of course, at the Real Me with Rel podcast. Subscribe right now. Follow me on. Make sure you guys are following us on all social media platforms. TikTok. I'm on Twitch now, so make sure you guys go follow me on Twitch. Real Me with Rel on Twitch. Our new TikTok, the Real Me Clips. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram at the Real Me with Rel. But if not, all these links are in the description. So until then, I'm gonna see you on the next episode. For real. All right.